In the top stories, Minister Duggins has praised the success of this year's St. Kitts Music Festival. Regionally, CARICOM will hold regional talks on the rights of Rastafarians. And on the international scene, the U.S. Supreme Court has struck down President Trump's bid to end birthright citizenship. Hello and welcome to the ZIZ Major Newscast. Today is Wednesday, the 1st of July, 2026, and I am Jasmine Thomas. First, on the local scene, Minister with responsibility for the creative economy, entertainment and arts has praised the hosting of the 2026 St. Kitts Music Festival. The 28th edition of the festival took place from June 25 to 28, with Minister Duggins commending the organizers for the work they put in.
I think this year's festival is a testament to the hard work that has gone in promoting culture and cultural tourism. At the end of the day, we've seen the first night, probably one of the biggest first nights of St. Kitts Music Festival ever. And we've seen tonight being an extraordinary display of talent, locally, regionally, and internationally. And at the end of the day, I believe people that have come in to support our St. Kitts Music Festival and the locals that come out to support the festival is a testament. The St. Kitts Music Festival is right now one of the premier festivals in the entire region.
Minister Duggins, who has been part of the festival not only as a member of is happy to see its growth over the years.
I performed on this music festival in 2004, 2005, and 2007. Actually, 2008, there about. So I performed on this festival for a number of years. But outside of that, I serve as the marketing representative for this festival for years. I serve as the person that produces promotional material that showcases festival for at least 6, 7, 8 years. And so, as someone who serves on the committee conducting how this festival should be organized, how it should be promoted, down to being a performer on the festival. I'm happy to see where we are today. And as the Minister of the Creative Economy, I'm happy to see where cultural tourism is today. Because the creative economy, I believe, is the way forward.
Meanwhile, Minister Duggins was happy that the music festival continues to have a positive impact on the St. Kitts economy.
If we look at the tourism season by tradition, it starts November, it ends in April. June is the middle of the down season. In the middle of the down season, you have a peak period during the St. Kitts Music Festival time that brings economic activity to the businesses. And if I would talk about it from a perspective of even at what we would call the bottom of the totem pole, today a farmer was selling pineapples. And he stopped me on the road and he said to me, this music festival has increased business. He has been able to sell more pineapples during this week than he has in the past few weeks. And for him, that represents tremendous growth.
The Honorable Samuel Duggins. Minister of National Security, Prime Minister, the Honorable Dr. Terence Drew, convened a high-level meeting with security leaders on Monday to review security operations following the 28th annual St. Kitts Music Festival. Dr. Drew commended the collaboration of the police force, defense force and the Coast Guard, who maintained public safety and preserved system order throughout the venue area. The Prime Minister also received a detailed briefing regarding the apple cider incident. He commended the courageous and swift deployment of the Coast Guard to rescue all passengers and crew. Dr. Drew also confirmed that his administration is committed to strengthening emergency response agencies to ensure that the Federation remains safe for all. 47 nurses from Ghana arrived in St. Kitts and Nevis on Sunday to join the Federation's public health system under a bilateral labor agreement between the two countries. The recruitment is part of the government's efforts to strengthen the healthcare workforce and address staffing needs across the sector. The nurses will be deployed to community health centers, the Joseph and France General Hospital, and other public health facilities across the country. A statement from the Ministry of Health said the additional staff will help ease pressure on the health system, particularly in accident and emergency, critical care, medical wards, and community health services. Principal Nursing Officer Dr. Rondalyn Dennis Bradshaw added that the nurses' arrival also provides an opportunity for professional exchange and collaboration between local and Ghanaian health professionals. On the regional scene, CARICOM will convene a regional meeting to address issues affecting Rastafarians across the Caribbean, following a decision by regional leaders to strengthen protection of their rights. The meeting will bring together representatives of member states and other key stakeholders to examine the continuing discrimination and marginalization faced by Rastafarians in the region. The decision follows last month's CARICOM intersessional meeting, where heads of government acknowledged that Rastafarians continue to face barriers in education, employment, and public life. Leaders also agreed to establish a regional committee comprising Barbados, Jamaica, St. Christopher and Nevis, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and Trinidad and Tobago to advance the matter at both the regional and international levels. CARICOM said several member states have already taken steps to address historical injustice, including public apologies, land grants, and legalization to protect against workplace discrimination. And Cuba says talks with the United States have stalled despite the island's recent economic reforms and continuing efforts to improve its economy. Foreign Minister Bruno Rodriguez said the reforms were never raised during earlier talks with Washington, insisting they are a matter of Cuba's sovereignty and not open to U.S. approval. His comments follow a new round of U.S. sanctions targeting President Miguel Diaz-Canel, other senior officials, and companies linked to Cuba's economy. The sanctions came after Cuba approved its most significant economic reforms in decades, including expanding opportunities for private businesses, private banking, and investment by Cubans living abroad. Rodriguez accused Washington of continuing what he described as a policy of hostility towards Cuba, while announcing that the country will again press for international action against the U.S. embargo at the United Nations next week. We now take a look at the international news. The United States Supreme Court has struck down President Donald Trump's attempt to end birthright citizenship for children born to people living in the country illegally or temporarily. The 6-3 ruling preserves the long-standing interpretation of the U.S. Constitution that grants citizenship to most people born on American soil. Chief Justice John Roberts, writing for the majority, said the 14th Amendment guarantees citizenship to every person born in the United States, subject to only very limited exceptions. 3 conservative justices dissented, arguing that the court had gone too far in declaring the president's executive order unconstitutional. The order, signed by President Trump on his first day back in office, had been blocked by lower courts before it could take effect. The president criticized the ruling, but legal experts say reversing the decision would require a constitutional amendment rather than an act of Congress, as suggested by President Trump. And the breakaway traditionalist Catholic group has defied Pope Leo XIV by consecrating 4 new bishops today without Vatican approval, triggering their automatic excommunication from the Catholic Church. The Society of St. Pius X proceeded with the ceremony at its seminary in Switzerland despite the last-minute appeal from the Pope to abandon its plans. The group rejected the resulting excommunications, insisting it had a sacred duty to defend the Catholic faith. Under church law, consecrating bishops without papal approval is considered a schismatic act and carries the church's most severe penalty of automatic excommunication. The move presents an early challenge to Pope Leo's efforts to strengthen unity within the Catholic Church. We now take a look at the weather. Dry and stable conditions will continue to dominate the weather pattern across the Federation, keeping shower activity to a minimum throughout today and tonight. Expect mostly sunny skies today with a 30% or low chance of few passing showers. Tonight will be mostly fair with the same 30% chance of an isolated shower. Temperatures will reach a high of 31 degrees Celsius or 88 degrees Fahrenheit with an overnight low of 26 degrees Celsius or 79 degrees Fahrenheit. Winds will be east-southeasterly at 19 to 28 kilometers per hour or 12 to 17 miles per hour. Seas will range from 1 to 1.5 meters or 3 to 5 feet. Sunset today will be at around 6:49, while sunrise tomorrow morning will be at approximately 5:41. And that brings us to the end of the Midday Major Newscast. Join us this evening for these stories and more. Thank you for tuning in. I am Jasmine Thomas. God bless you.